Hey guys, welcome back to Abeer and Animals. Today we are in Sankey Tank, a lake in Bengaluru, to look for animals. Our primary target are checkered keelbacks, which are snakes. But anything cool today, eh, and you will get your episode. So stay tuned, we're about to see some cool wildlife. Today we're exploring Sankey Tank, a man-made lake in the Malleshwaram area of Bengaluru. There was some action immediately. Cormorants were sitting on a fountain, and one was extremely close to our viewpoint as well. On a far tree, we could see Brahmini kites, a kingfisher, and a cinnamon bittern on that tree. The cinnamon bittern was a new bird, and bitterns are relatively rare in Bengaluru anyway, so this was a nice surprise. Nice. Bitterns are related to the egret and the heron, but are slightly different. I was thrilled to see one up close. There were also 3 nests on the tree, which were quite intriguing, for I'm pretty sure the bittern or the 2 kites had made them. Here is a nice view from the binoculars of these birds. The 2 Brahmini whites were enjoying their evening, probably on a lookout perch for some food. The bitterns had reached their roosting spot, and the kingfisher was peering intently into the water for catchable sized fish. It was a great start to our evening. Suddenly, one of the kites flew from there and landed on a much more or closer perch. Something big had also jumped in the water, and the kite is off, looking for some more food. A dragonfly sat perfectly for a beautiful picture. The people who made this lake also added ducks, domestic ducks, and not your wild spot-billed ducks, to enjoy their time in the lake. A duck house had been built, and most of the ducks were enjoying their evening. This one enthusiastically digging for food. We joked out calling it duck asan. Asan meaning yoga pose. As that was what it looked like it was doing. This is a jumping spider on the railing, which was pretty quick, but we managed to get a
Jumping
good
spider,
shot
I
of
think.
it.
Some sort of jumping spider.
We were much closer to the cormorants on the fountain shown in the first clip of this video. Few domestic ducks had settled here, happily enjoying their time. The cormorants had finished drying their wings and were now sitting, probably hoping that they would get a pretty good last meal of the day. If we looked extremely closely into the water, we could see a few fish swimming by. It wasn't very easy to see, but we saw them. This next sighting is a controversial one. Do you remember at the start of the video I told you our prime target was the checkered keelback snake? Over here, at first I thought we had got our target. It was a snake swimming in the water. Quite the crowd it attracted too. But then, looking closely, we deduced it could be a red-eared slider, which is a turtle. Looking closely, it was extremely hard to determine. With the flat beak and eyes, it looked like it was a snake. but we did see there was some sort of eye ridges on it. So what do you think? Turtle or snake? Please write in the comments below. Over here, cinnamon bitterns, black kites and oriental darters have reached their roosting point and were settling in for the night. Meals had, things organized. It was finally time to go to bed. These fish here were trying to eat off a twig, investigating it at least, which made for a pretty nice interaction shot. There were at least 7 or 8 fish working on the twig. And there were many fish close to us as well. It was pretty cool. There were also monstrous African catfish in the lake. The African catfish is an invasive species to the lakes here in Bengaluru, and boy were they huge. We reached a point where there was another family of ducks looking for fish to eat. Those African catfish may be too big for them, but we've definitely seen smaller fish as well. A duck was quacking in the middle of the water. To me, when the birds start going home is already a sign that it's a transition. But the true meaning for me is when I start seeing the first signs of bats. The last of the birds and the first of the bats is the true transition to me between day and night. And we had started seeing our first flock of bats flying in. You do remember our previous video on bats. There were small bats there, but here almost all of them were pretty monstrous. This is a pond heron flying home. The bats would come in huge numbers, ready to take patrol from the birds. These few ducks were heading home, quite possibly back to the duck house built for them. Overhead, the bats kept coming in. We were quickly getting into the evening time, which was signaling, which meant that our time in Sankey Tank for the day was getting done. The cormorant was the last thing I saw. So, hope you enjoyed this adventure to Sankey Tank. We got many animals, turtles, and spiders, ducks, cormorants, Brahmini kites, bitterns, so many things. So, it's definitely a success in my opinion. Until next time, bye!